What is clearly a scam but is so normalized people don't notice. I don't know if it's normalized, but McAfee security service. In my own experience with the service, it's done literally nothing for me except pop up every time I open my computer or nearly every 4 hours or so. I remember my ex-GF's grandma who fell victim for the service. I tried to talk them down from it and not to pay the service, but I was much too late for any semantics. So I just took it to memory that every computer already comes with security software, and any outside security software, if not installed properly, checked with 100% concentrated power of will, you're going to have a bad time. At least, I'm convinced that the McAfee service is just a virus that makes you pay, similar to some of those other viruses that get your photo via your personal webcam, lock your computer and show you a copy-pasted photo of a legal document, urging you to pay a ransom. What was it? Ransomware. So my belief is that even though most people may use McAfee as a computer firewall security service, it's more than likely a scam. Downvote me to hell, but at least convince me otherwise first. I just paid for the privilege of setting up my router. My cable company recently started trying to charge me for my router, which I own. I got a notice saying, "We noticed an error in billing and we will be charging you for the equipment rental starting in December." You will. I have every receipt from every cable or phone transaction I've ever done for that exact reason. I paid outright for my router so I wouldn't be renting their equipment at $12/month. Now they want to charge me for my own property. After receiving that notice, I hopped right onto customer service to get it resolved, and they directed me to their loyalty department, because they could best handle it over there. I cut off the conversation and just canceled my service. Cable companies are pure scum. Back to base security system monitoring. Huge scam. My smart home security system alerts me faster than ADT ever did. Biggest offenders: when you don't answer the call, they will send out someone and will charge you a fee. And every time your system messes up, it will send false error codes to the monitoring station, which they will charge you a huge fee to fix. And oh, if you want to disconnect it, the guy I spoke to from ADT was going to charge me $250 call out plus $50 for every 15 minutes he was at my house, and the job would have taken at least an hour. They said, they may need to go into the roof. No, I just called a security installation electrician and he said $50 call out and $30 for every 30 minutes he was there, but that was depending on the type of job. He was at my house for 5 minutes. Power off, remove power wires from control box *, protect the wires so it's safe, replace cover on control box, done. He only charged $50. Compared to ADT's service, which would have cost about $450. ADT hardwired it into our power system, without telling us what circuit they plugged into. Basically one flip of a switch outside and the system turns off. Edit, Jesus Christ, 1000 upvotes. I guess people really don't like ADT or those companies. Often, the point isn't the not noticing, but the having a lack of better alternatives. What's worse is when the companies try to do right and we force them back into scamming. Stores like JCPenney sell $10 shirts for $20 at a %50 discount. They also inflate the price of belts, wallets, and underwear, but then lower the price of pants. It all evens out, but the customer gets the satisfaction of getting a deal. Once they tried to get rid of that with a fair and square pricing strategy, but it almost bankrupted the company and it never fully recovered. People don't want to buy cheap stuff. They want to buy expensive stuff at a discount so they feel like they're getting a bargain. Social media. From their happy beginnings, they are now mostly a funnel used to ram as many advertisements into your mind as inhumanly possible. Sponsored posts every third or fourth item, I see you, IG/FB/Red/ etc. And that's not even mentioning the extensive filtering network that curates the information you get to see when you are looking for something. Curated information is just a nice expression for you being conditioned to form certain opinions/buy more stuff. Social media groom minds. Edit, wow, over 11k upvotes. If we may assume that 1 in 10 people bother to vote at all, this means that my post has been seen by over 100,000 people. This illustrates the amazing power of the internet. The irony is not lost on me that my most popular post ever should be about how social media have become overly commercialized to the point of being a scam. Smiley face. Things I learned from the comments and some light research. Many of you quoted the old saying, when the product is free, you are the product. The earliest attribution that I could find was to an artist named Richard Serra in 1973. To this I could add, there is no such thing as a free lunch. Building and running the internet is not free. In fact, several sources state that the internet consumes over 10% of the global electricity supply. Let that sink in for a bit. Using 10% of the global electricity supply is equivalent to running about half the USA, or Germany plus Canada plus South Korea plus France plus UK plus Italy. Put another way, 10% of global CO2 emissions from electricity generation are due to running the internet. If we estimate that 50% of internet activity consists of sending around advertising and spam, we have to ask ourselves, is that really worth spending 5% of the world's entire electricity supply on? Or would it not be better to dial that fluff way back and start charging users a fair fee? Speaking for myself, I believe that the internet is an invaluable addition to our lives, and I would be willing to pay a fair and transparent fee for an ad-free, tracker-free, spam-free, bot-free internet experience, certainly if that means that we will also save 5% of the world's global electricity. Note that I am not saying the internet should be censored, far from it. Of course, designing and implementing something like that will be very difficult. I think we will need to look to the EU for innovations in this space. I also learned that my ad blocking settings were overdue a refresh. I found that on my iOS, iPhone, iPad, in particular, it is hard to find effective ad blockers. This is due to the fact, that Apple does not allow browsers other than Safari on iOS. The Firefoxes and Chromes you download on those devices are simply copies of Safari with a different jacket slapped onto it, for which Mozilla and Google pay Apple a pretty penny, no doubt. This means that spectacularly effective open-source ad blockers that should work on Firefox and Chrome and the like, won't work on your iPhone and iPad. With some digging in the App Store, I did find something that seems to work, but let me not advertise here. Suffice to say, it is useful to periodically update your ad blocking system, and it seems that free, open-source blockers are the best of the bunch. Am I contradicting myself by saying that, 1. I am willing to pay a fair price for my internet use, but 2. At the same time I am installing ad blockers? Yes, a bit, but I install the ad blockers mainly out of a concern for my privacy, which I believe is under heavy attack. Also, I believe the internet media have crossed a line. I mean, I can put up with some, clearly identified, advertising here and there, but who would enjoy a newspaper if at least 25% of it would be overt advertising and maybe half of the rest cleverly disguised, highly personalized paid content? If I can take a pair of automated scissors to such a rag, I believe I should. This edit started as a thank you to all who read my post and grew into a bit more. Perhaps I should start a discussion thread of my own because, clearly, the rampant commercialism on the internet annoys a great many of us. All MLMs, they prey on insecure women, specifically army wives, to give in. It's almost like a cult. Guaranteeing new friends, lots of free trips, and make $20,000 a month. They are not your friends. The trips are only free if you become a top earner, and the only way to make $20,000 a month is to get at minimum 100 people in your team that work every single day. Most sales from those companies are from the salesperson who is buying it to sell it. And they tell you that you have to buy more to sell more. It's really gross. Edit. Wow, thank you to all the awards and responses. I wanted to add something. I've been researching MLMs for years. And I want to make what I mean about insecure women clear. Insecure, meaning sad, lonely, stressed, not financially stable, not guaranteed home, military family that moves a lot. I've been to these meetings, I've listened in on calls on how to get more recruits. I'm repeating what they have said on these calls and meetings. Sad, lonely, insecure. And I also do not mean all insecure women take the bait. I myself am extremely insecure in all which ways and have never joined a MLM, even though I've been offered a bunch. I hate that they are so predatory towards these people. I want to make something else clear. I in no way judge the women and men and non-binary that take these opportunities. When you don't know where your next paycheck is coming from and you have mouths to feed, they make the offer so tempting. I would hope people choose a different job, but it's definitely tempting, especially for stay-at-home moms. Turn your judgment to these disgusting companies and the people higher up in those companies that make people feel like their lives are about to become so much better.
you.